Right, so welcome back, Elaine, to the Zoom room for another live session. I'm just going to dive straight into today's email with our quote, and that'll lead us nicely into today's lesson. And maybe we'll have some time for the text as well.
Are you messaging John for that last bit?
No, just sorting out the live stream. Okay, so we're done. Let's share screen. Which one we want? We want that screen up. Okay. Okay, so if you can start off by reading that quote. Very short, sweet one today.
Man's desire is to know the mind of God.
Obviously, man being the general, humanity's desire. There's a very connected-looking woman. It looks like actually Mother Mary, doesn't she? But
yeah,
very holy picture. So this really just expresses the true desire, this quote, of every person. Because at the core of our being, we still know who we truly are. And so we'll never be truly satisfied with anything less than this knowledge. It also leads beautifully into today's mind training lesson and recorded discussion. So we went into Workbook lesson 43 and this one. So I don't think we had a chance to do it this year. Be vigilant only for God and His kingdom, which you can listen to in the recording if you like. So the key message of the lesson and the text reading taken together is that we learn to see everything through the eyes of love by being vigilant against the ego or belief in separation and letting its thoughts and emotions go whenever we become aware of them. And in so doing, we automatically accept the gifts of the kingdom or the blessings of being in a state of pure formless awareness. In our alternative terminology. So we see everything through the eyes of love, and we're vigilant against the ego or the belief in separation. We let its thoughts and emotions go whenever we become aware of it. That's really the key to entering into the state of pure formless awareness. And then we finished off with a 20-minute meditation to help them let go of any blocks. So nice discussion if you want to listen to that and go over that section that we missed this year because of the Easter weekend. So that leads us into today's session and our lesson. So let's go for it. So if you can read the headline, lesson, key ideas, and then into paragraph 1, please, in the original and alternative.
God is the mind with which I think. Pure formless awareness of perfect love is the awareness in which I think.
So just contemplate that for a bit. It's again quite different in the alternative, isn't it? God is the mind with which I think.
Yeah, it can sound a bit sort of the Bible.
Well, it's kind of like, okay, so my mind is God's mind. It's the mind with which I think. Can be a bit abstract, difficult to actually apply that. What does that actually mean? If we talk about awareness, though, pure formless awareness of perfect love, right? So there's an underlying awareness, and in that awareness, I think, right? So it's the container, it's the foundation for all my thoughts. That's really what this is saying. So God is not thinking dualistically. God never thinks, I, subject John O. Elaine, am perceiving, interacting with another person or object, the world. God doesn't think that way. So it can be a bit unreachable in the first original version. But if we understand that it's the foundational awareness, the ground of being, and within that awareness, all thought then comes. And our job is to allow our thoughts to be directed and guided by that awareness. So even while we're in the world and we might be thinking subject, object, it's virtually impossible not to, isn't it? When you're in this world, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm talking to you right now on the level of form. There appears to be two of us here, although that's an illusion, but nevertheless, we have to kind of deal with that. If you went around going, well, actually, you don't even exist, so I'm not even going to address you by name, you'd be weird. People would go, that's just, you're slightly crazy, and you wouldn't be able to integrate into society at all. So it's to kind of understand that this is at the base. Okay, there's this awareness, it's pure formless awareness, it's perfect oneness or perfect love, and it is the foundation for all my thoughts. So if I'm thinking, I think loving, kind thoughts towards you. I still, in interacting, we can have a conversation. I call you Elaine. There's still that going on one level, but on the other level, on the deeper level, there's an underlying awareness that we are one. That actually it's just the same mind talking to itself and having this experience of either separation or oneness. Those are the two experiences possible. So, why not choose oneness rather than separation? And so the second quote kind of brings more of that holistic, okay, it's the ground of being, it's the awareness in which I think. Without that awareness, no thought would be possible. Do you see that? Because there would be no awareness. There would be nothing there to think with.
Yeah.
So that's why it's the ground of being. It's the foundation. Without fundamental awareness, no thought would be possible. And even the ego's bubble of ridiculous, insane thought couldn't have ever occurred because there's no awareness. There would be nothing. So no thing, when you say nothing, what we're actually referring to is pure formless awareness that has no form, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have existence. In fact, that has fundamental existence. That's the only existence that's true. And everything else that we've invented in this little bubble that's a departure from that awareness is false. So a complete inversion of the ego's version of reality. And this lesson again points us to it. Christine sent me an interesting comment actually. She said, I'm reviewing some of my notes from last year's program and it's all the same. And I went, yeah, exactly. It's the same lesson every day.
Yeah, but just said differently.
Just a slightly different angle, different wording, different perspective, but it's the same lesson every day. So yeah, that's absolutely correct insight. But it's phrased differently to keep our minds engaged, and also because there's so many different aspects to the ego that he has to address them. And the lessons address different aspects of the ego and different ways of connecting. So this way, you might go pure formless awareness of perfect love is the awareness in which I think might just really inspire you. Yeah, I really get that. And another lesson, you might go, no, I'm not really resonating with that. So it's the same lesson stated many, 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 many times over, which is really the course's genius. How do you say the same thing over and over again in 1,300 pages and still keep it interesting?
Yeah.
That's a work of genius and mastery, which is what Yeshua is. So yeah, it's the same lesson, but stated over and over again in different language. And each lesson has its own kind of nuances and qualities that are helpful. So that's not like, oh, okay, it's just exactly the same lesson. No, it has a slightly different flavor and he addresses things differently. And that's why it keeps you engaged. You can read these lessons over and over and over again. I've been doing it for 18 years and it's like a fresh lesson. Every time you do it, it's like, well, because they change every day, you don't remember from a year ago exactly what this lesson was. So it has this quality of being perennially fresh, which is part of one of the characteristics of anything that is part of the perennial philosophy, right? It's evergreen, it's perennial, it just keeps, it's eternal, it never dies, it never fades, because the truth is always alive, with the very essence of life, inspiration. Okay, so let's go into the lesson then. Number 1.
Yep. Today's idea holds the key to what your real thoughts are. You think with the mind. Oh, that's just, yeah. Right, yeah. Right. They are nothing that you think, just as nothing that you think you see is related to vision in any way. There is no relationship between what is real and what you think is real. Nothing that you think or your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any respect. Nothing that you think you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you.
So what's he saying in this one?
Well, what we think is not real thoughts. It's only once we see this vision that it'll show us the truth.
It's really saying all of our thoughts are just unreal. No.
Yeah.
Dualistic thought, subject-object thought. I think about this, perceive this, interact with this. You're thinking these thoughts, but actually none of them are real because they're all based on the idea of separation. That I am a separate self who is able to perceive and interact with people and things and an external world that is not me. That's how most of our thought works, doesn't it? In this world,
it does.
We're saying, well, there's no relationship between that mode of thought, which is dualistic and egoic, based on the idea of separation, and what is actually real. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any respect. Nothing that you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you, because this is a reality that's completely opposite to this dualistic perceptual dream reality we've created. So yeah, it's quite radical. It's like, actually, none of your thoughts up to this point really mean anything. You think you're thinking, but actually these thoughts aren't reality. They aren't real. And there is another way of thinking, another mode of thought, kind of another quality, another type of thought, really, that's totally beyond this, that makes all of this thought look ridiculous and insane.
Lydia, for heaven's sake.
All right, so any other thoughts on number 1, Elaine? Otherwise, let's go into
No, yeah, that's clear.
Go into number 2. Read that in the original and the alternative kindly.
You think with the mind of God. You think with a pure formless awareness of perfect love. Therefore, you share your thoughts with him as he shares his with you. Therefore, you share your thoughts with it as it shares its with you. They are the same thoughts because they are the thought by the same mind. They are the same thoughts because they are thought by the same awareness. To share is to make alike or to make one. To share is to make alike or to make one. Nor do the thoughts you think with the mind of God leave your mind, because thoughts do not leave their source. Nor do the thoughts you think with pure formless and perfect love leave your awareness, because thoughts do not leave their source. Therefore, your thoughts are in the mind of God as you are. Therefore, your thoughts are in the mind. Thoughts are the pure formless awareness, perfect love, as you are. They are in your mind as well, where he is. They are in your mind as well, where it is. They are in your mind as well. As you are part of it, as you are part of his mind, so are your thoughts part of his mind. As you are part of its awareness, so are your thoughts part of its awareness.
And then read it from the top in the alternative, please.
You think with the pure formless awareness of perfect love. Therefore, you share your thoughts with it as it shares its with you. They are the same thoughts because they are thought by the same awareness. To share is to make alike or to make one. Nor do the thoughts you think with the pure formless awareness of perfect love leave your awareness, because thoughts do not leave their source. Therefore, your thoughts are in the pure formless awareness of perfect love, as you are. They are in your mind as well, where it is. As you are part of its awareness, so are your thoughts part of its awareness.
Yeah. So thoughts on that?
Just saying that we share our thoughts with this pure formless awareness, and they are the same thoughts because they're all from the same awareness. So to share it is to make it alike or to make it one. And the thoughts that we think are not pure formless awareness of perfect love. That's we're in separate self, then we leave our awareness.
So whenever we go into really dualistic thought, whenever we've got negative thoughts and emotions going on, and we feel separate, that's when we are denying that awareness. Then we're not thinking with that awareness. If we're interacting with someone in a loving, kind way, and it feels loving, open, expansive, then we're thinking with the mind of God. That awareness is directing our thoughts. Although you're still apparently interacting with the person on the level of form, what's really behind that interaction is this awareness. So whenever you feel love, this is thoughts. Whenever you feel separated from love, and there's unloving thoughts going on, then you are separated from this awareness, and another awareness has come in. That's the ego. That is the imposter self that's saying, no, this is how you need to think and perceive and behave. And it's a false self that then seems to be directing you. So you become a puppet then, slave of this false entity, which has no real existence, but nevertheless seems to exist in your mind and seems to deny the fundamental awareness that you are, and which should be directing all of your thoughts, emotions, words, and actions. And so the spiritual task is to align our thoughts, emotions, words, and actions with this awareness, that everything is coming from this awareness. And there is no other awareness. That's the enlightened state, which we're all awakening to. That's the journey, isn't it? Of awakening to that, becoming more and more integrous to that. So ultimately, this awareness is the only awareness, and that awareness is behind every thought, every emotion, every decision you make, every word you speak, every action. Yeshua says it's possible, but it takes great effort and willingness to listen only to that voice, which is the voice of the Holy Spirit, that remembers this pure formless awareness of perfect love and allows you to translate it into practical application in this world. So it's the translator, it's the intermediary, it's the bridge that allows the pure formless awareness of perfect love to become useful thought and feeling and words and actions and so on in this world, as is shown in this Holy Trinity diagram. Let's just go there one more time, remind you of that. So I don't know why it's not showing, it's taking its time. Okay, let's go into so there's top level, level 1, pure formless awareness of perfect love. This is what we call the mind of God. Anything capitalized, then the key thing is when you notice using capitals, then it's coming from there. Then that translates down through the true self and the Holy Spirit, which is the ability to now perceive correctly from the perspective of the one true self. And that translates into perception, a transformed perception of everything and everyone in this world. And so when he says you're thinking with the mind of God, or you're thinking with pure formless awareness of perfect love, it's this translation mechanism of this awareness streaming through the mechanism of the Christ or the true self and the Holy Spirit, which is the ability to perceive truly, true perception, and then that results in a different perception of the world, and perception guides our words and our decisions and our actions. And so that's how this system works, to translate what is pure, formless, abstract awareness into something that's very helpful, useful in this world. And that's what we're trying to learn with the system. Saying, I can't teach you the meaning of love. I can't teach you the meaning of this. That will come when you're ready. But I can teach you how to translate it into this world and make it useful and applicable to your life, which will prepare you for this revelation, the revelation of this awareness, and that there's only this awareness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, people can criticize the course and say, oh, it's all too abstract and highfalutin, but it's actually not. It's actually very practical. The majority of the course is directed, 95%, maybe even 99%, 98% of the course is directed at this transition from being identified with an ego and all of its dualistic thoughts and caught up in level 2, the world of form and illusion. And it's about facilitating the transformation or transition from that into an awareness of pure formless, awareness of perfect love via the true self. So you become more and more identified with oneself rather than a separate self and its true perceptions. And that's what the course is. That's why it's called a Course in Miracles, because the miracles operate at this level and not a course in love, because love is transcendent. Love is level 1, and he's saying, I can't teach you that. I can only teach you how to remove the blocks to it, and then it will come when you're ready, once the blocks are removed. So it's subtle, but it's important distinctions to, the methodology of this course. Just take away what's not you, and then what will reveal itself is you. That's the methodology. It's instead of painting, to use an art analogy, instead of painting the masterpiece of your life on a blank canvas, it's more the sculptor. Michelangelo, that quote saying, well, how did I do the David? I just cut away everything that wasn't it. It wasn't authentically David. And then what revealed itself was, the masterpiece. Same idea. Cut away everything that's not you. In other words, let go of the ego and the self-concept and all of its perceptions, and what reveals itself must then be the real you, because that's all that's left. So that's the methodology, which makes it easier. Okay, so all I've got to do is let go of the false, and I don't have to create or invent or become the truth. The truth is already there, and the truth will just reveal itself naturally as I let go of the false, because that's all that's remaining. It's much easier than trying to, how can you become the perfect, the perfect self? That's a task that's impossible. If you think you're imperfect and then you're trying to become a perfect self, it's never going to happen, is it?
No.
when does it ever end? You strike what's still imperfect. Let go of what's not me, and what reveals itself is what is me. Okay, so happy with that. Number 2. Let's go to number 3 then. Where then are your real thoughts?
Where then are your real thoughts? And the same. Today we will attempt to reach them. Today we'll attempt to reach them. We will have to look for them in your mind because that is where they are. We will have to look for them in your mind because that is where they are. They must still be there because they cannot have left their source. They must still be there because they cannot have left their source. What is thought by the mind of God eternal being part of creation? What is thought by pure formless awareness of perfect love is eternal being part of being?
And from the top in the alternative.
Yep. Where then are your real thoughts? Today we will attempt to reach them. We will have to look for them in your mind because that is where they are. They must still be there because they cannot have left their source. What is thought by pure formless awareness of perfect love is eternal being part of being.
Okay, so thoughts on that? What's he saying?
Well, it's just saying, where are your real thoughts? I mean, they're there, but we have to dig deep and get back to the source. But they are there, but we just can't find them. So the lesson is saying that we're going to actually attempt to go and find these thoughts.
Yeah, and that's what spiritual practice is about, to connect with your real thought or awareness. I prefer awareness. You connect with that fundamental awareness, and then thought proceeds from that. If you're feeling peaceful and calm, and that fundamental awareness is you're aware of that, then your thoughts follow from that, don't they? So you're still able to think in this world on the level of form. Okay, well, you've got stuff to do, you're going to the hospital and so on, but that underlying awareness then guides all of your thoughts. So you do it peacefully, you do it calmly, peacefully, you do it in a state of flow. You're not resisting, you're not stressing, you're not fearing. You're just, okay, well, I'm present, I'm going with the flow, this awareness is with me, God is with me, everywhere I go. This was a recent lesson, and I'm okay. I'm what I call foundationally happy because I have this awareness always in my mind, and all my thoughts and feelings are directed by that. And that's what he's trying to train us to do with this course. So it becomes very, very practical. It's in your daily life. It's in every situation, every relationship, every interaction. This goes with you. And, it infuses all of your thoughts and your emotions and your decisions and your words and your actions. And then, that's living. That's what we mean by living the course. And that's living in the enlightened state, which, has been demonstrated is possible. People like Yeshua, the Buddha, various other spiritual masters have actually lived that way for a large part of their life. It's possible, but it does take great willingness. It takes effort and great willingness because you have to train your mind to let go of all the entire thought system. All of the conditioning and the programming of the ego and all of its thoughts and the self-concept attached to that, and the entire reality has to be let go of in order to be able to operate in this enlightened state. That's what the mind training is for. Okay, so I think just these are useful. Just read these next couple of paragraphs because he's giving us some teaching as well.
Our 3 5-minute practice periods for today will take the same general form that we used in applying yesterday's idea. We
It's
will
fine.
attempt
That's to repeat that. Yeah, just carry on.
Yeah. We will attempt to leave the unreal and seek for the real. We will deny the world in favor of truth. We will not let the thoughts of the world hold us back. We will not let the beliefs of the world tell us that what pure formless awareness of perfect love guides us to do is impossible. Instead, we will try to recognize that only what pure formless awareness of perfect love asks us to do is possible.
Yeah. So the only translation is God becomes pure formless awareness of perfect love. Which again is more, the word God is very problematic for many people. So God's telling me to do something. Well, what does that even mean? How do I interact with that? But if my own awareness, you take it down to the level of awareness, it's my own fundamental nature, my own fundamental awareness telling me, then that makes sense, doesn't it? It's my own true nature guiding me, telling me what to do. It also avoids the sense of being imposed on. And they're like, no, God's not going to tell me what to do. I make my own decisions. I have free will. That's just the ego's version of free will. But if this is my own true awareness, my own true self, I'm just becoming more authentic. This is who I really am. And this is going to be, what's going to help me to find peace and joy and love and happiness. Then why would I resist it? There's no external force being imposed on me. It's just an awakening to my true self, my true awareness, which I've denied. So a very different perspective. And the monotheistic God of typically of Western religions, Christianity, traditional Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and this idea of an awareness are kind of at odds. They don't really reconcile. Because God is seen as some kind of super being outside of you who sits above everyone and kind of judges, rather than actually it's your own awareness. It's your own deepest awareness, your own true self, which is much more Eastern perspective. So the course is, very much along those lines. Although it uses the Christian associated with those traditional Western traditions, that it becomes difficult to get through that, which is why we. Okay, so it's really just strengthening our resolve. We will not let the beliefs of the world come in and cloud this awareness. We'll try to recognize that only what this awareness asks us to do is possible. So if we feel guided, then we must follow that guidance and trust that there's no order of difficulty in miracles. If we're guided to do it, then that's what we must do. And when you learn to follow guidance implicitly and you trust, you go, well, I don't really know how this is going to work out, but I'll just I'm listening to guidance and this feels right, so I'll plunge in. I'm not in the mind of the ego anymore, am I? I'm not trying to work it out myself. I'm not trying to strategize and scenario plan and go, well, if I do this, then this could happen. And I just go, what does it feel like right now? Yeah, it feels guided. It feels right. Okay, do that now. That's all the Holy Spirit's saying. Do that now. Follow my guidance right now. And then the next guidance will follow. You take one step and then the next follows and the next follows. And that's the way it works. That's what it means to be present. So you're not really thinking about the past or the future. You're just going, okay, right now, what do I do? And if you clear, then you get the download, you get the guidance, and it comes in and says, do that. Remember that lesson where, it wasn't a lesson, it was a text reading where he said, do only that. Now, wouldn't it be simpler? Instead of saying, well, if you do this, then, you won't, if you don't do this, then you'll avoid your fear and you won't be afraid. It's simpler if you just say, just do that. So the Holy Spirit just do that. That's sort of, in my experience, how it works. Very direct kind of guidance. And then you go, okay, well, if I just do that and I follow that guidance, I'll be okay because I'm listening to the guidance and that guidance knows the whole plan and it knows that that's the next step in my at-one-man journey, my hero's journey. And I don't need to guide the whole process. In fact, I can't. So I've got to let go of that need to control it and just go moment by moment. Okay, what should I do? Where should I go? Where should I be? What should I do? And you know, that leads us to the ultimate enlightened state where we're living this guidance. I'm just gonna bring this up actually, lesson 363. Because this is where it leads to. You know, the ultimate guidance leads us into this state. He's saying this is the final outcome of the course. It's useful to check in with us every now and then. So if you can read that, Elaine. Elaine, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can read, can you see the screen? You can read that.
The holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, or I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. I am wholly aware now in every moment. I allow my true self to be in charge, and I follow only its guidance, knowing that it brings me peace.
Yeah, so again, you know, the translation is just designed to make it more practical, more applicable. And then he gives us the very short, remember this is the last lesson, so the final outcome of the workbook kind of ends in one lesson. It's repeated 5 times, and it's so short, saying this is the outcome of the whole training course, really, that you can live in this way. So if you can read the paragraph in the original alternative, thanks.
Yeah. The remembrance of perfect love will give me the words I need to help me. It will also give me a thought whenever I need one. And if I need only stillness and a tranquil, open mind, these are the gifts I will receive from it. It is in charge by my request, and it will hear and answer me because it speaks the pure formless awareness of perfect love, my source and its innocent extension.
So he's just saying to us, you know, listen to the guidance, just moment by moment. Whatever you need will come if you step out the way. If you can let go of your need to control and interfere. The ego is always trying to interfere and put its own guidance into the mix and cover over this guidance. So the whole course is designed to help you to let go of all that interference and distraction of this other thought system and be able to be a clean, clear channel to just listen to this guidance. That's what he's training us to do through the whole course. And the final outcome is, okay, I can now live. I'm in this very clear, calm state, and I'm guided moment by moment, and life is okay. That's a happy dream. It's not ultimate reality, but it's okay for a while. You can handle a dream where you're happy, peaceful, in flow. Nothing really bothers you. Yeah, you can manage that. So that's where he leaves us at the end of the whole course. Just worth sometimes going to the end and saying, okay, that's the final outcome of this whole mind training process. And then he says, you want to read number 5?
We will also try to understand that only what pure formless awareness of perfect love guides us to do is what we want to do. And we will also try to remember that we cannot fail in doing what it asks us to do. There is every reason to feel confident that we will succeed today because it is the will of perfect love.
Yeah, very, very much along the same lines. Okay, if I'm guided, if this awareness is guiding me in this really miraculous way, we can't really understand it, but somehow this awareness can guide us in our dream, although this awareness transcends the dream and is, completely pure and formless and infinite and absolute. It can find us in our dream, and it can guide us in our dream to awaken from that dream, and that's pretty miraculous. We're not lost in the dream forever, because this awareness will find us and it will guide us back home. And that's why, we should be happy and joyful and at peace, because we know that we are, in the Course terminology, this is salvation or saved. We know that we can awaken if we just are willing. Obviously, it can't help you if you dead set against it and you want to stay asleep and dreaming. But if you're willing, then this awareness will guide you home, and it will find your way out of the matrix in your particular situation, your life situation, your circumstances, using your talents and abilities. It will find your way for you out of the dream. And that's your hero's journey, to allow it to guide you through the maze. That's your hero's journey. It's actually really simple, because you don't really have to do that much. You just have to listen and follow guidance. But to follow that guidance is a struggle, because the ego's got its own guidance, and it's trying to come in and sabotage the Holy Spirit's guidance. Which is why we train and we practice every day and remind ourselves, okay, this is the truth, and I'm tapping into my true self and the true guidance. And, I'm able to listen to that and let that guide me. Let that sane, calm, truly rational voice guide me, rather than the insane, chaotic, capricious thought system of the ego, which the more you see it, it's like, this doesn't make any sense. And how can I expect to get any kind of sense out of that when it's completely insane? Okay, so that's a nice preparation for the lesson. Go into the practice now. Happy to do that, Elaine. Maybe you have to go in about 20 minutes. What's our timing?
Yeah, quarter past 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the med, and then we'll finish it. All right. So
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
just okay, so making yourself comfortable, sitting in your favorite meditation posture with feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, or put your hands palms facing upwards on your thighs, whichever is more comfortable. Close your eyes and start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. You breathe in, notice how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Place your sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. As you breathe in, feel this warm wave of energy rising up the spine into your heart center, drawing it up into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Just scan your mind. So noticing thoughts, emotions, related body sensations going on, particularly anything that feels at all negative, limiting, contracted, or constricted in any way. Let's repeat today's idea to yourself. So God is the mind with which I think, or if you prefer the alternative, pure formless awareness of perfect love is the awareness in which I think. Pure formless awareness of perfect love is the awareness in which I think. So this awareness is the foundation for all my thoughts. It infuses all my thoughts. You can add any related thoughts that come to your mind. Breathe in again as you do that. Just breathing in this awareness into every pore and cell and muscle of your body. Let it just shine from you. It's already there. It's the foundation of all life. So it's the very essence of your awareness and of your life and the foundation of your body, and you connect with it now. Think any related thoughts to this idea that come up. You might think, for example, that this awareness guides me truly. I'm guided, I'm safe, I'm protected, always by this awareness, and so on. Whatever comes to mind related to the idea, and then say, my real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. Then try to go past or let go of all the unreal thoughts that cover the truth in your mind, reach to the eternal in you. So to help you do that, just exhale, blow out all of these false thoughts and emotions like a dark cloud or black smoke. Visualize that leaving you. It's leaving your mouth, leaving your body, your energy system, your mind. It's going, gone, being blown away by the breeze of this inspired breath of the Holy Spirit. When you blow it away, let it all go, and you sink down inwards. Sinking down and inward in your mind. It helps. You can imagine going past a heavy cloud of insane thoughts. Just brush past them lightly. They have no meaning. And if they're just clouds, they have no substance. They're ephemeral. You can just push through them to the light beyond. So beyond the heavy cloud bank of these dark thoughts lies the clear blue sky and the sun of your pure awareness. So breathe that awareness in again. Letting it infuse every pore, every cell, every muscle, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. And then sink inwards. Exhale and feel like you're sinking down and inward toward the center of your being, where God or pure formless awareness, perfect love exists, where there is only this awareness. Sink inwards with an attitude of confidence and a sense of the importance, the value, and the holiness of what you're doing. Under all the senseless thoughts and mad ideas with which you've cluttered up your mind, or the thoughts that you thought with pure formless awareness of perfect love in the beginning. They're there in your awareness now, completely unchanged. They will always be in your awareness, exactly as they always were. Everything you've thought since then will change, but the foundation on which it rests is wholly changeless. So they are still there as they always were. It's just your job to uncover them. Go into this awareness, foundational awareness, pure forms awareness, perfect love, the ground of being, as some philosophers would call it. And this is the foundation toward which the exercises are directed. Here is your mind joined with the pure formless awareness of perfect love. Here are your thoughts one with its. So only one thing is necessary for this practice. Approach it as you would an altar or foundation dedicated in heaven to God the Father and to God the Son, or in alternative language, foundation dedicated in the state of pure formless awareness to perfect love, the source and its extension. Such is the place you're trying to reach. You'll probably be unable as yet to realize how high you're trying to go. Yet even with the little understanding you have already gained, you should be able to remind yourself that this is no idle game, but an attempt to reach the state of pure formless awareness, which is heaven, which is the ultimate state of being in which you rest eternally. This is your home. This is where you're going to remain eternally once your nightmare of separation is over. This is your reality. So welcome it in now. Allow it to arise or sink into it. Use whichever one of those ideas works for you. It's just an inner experience that you're allowing. Try and feel the holiness, the pure formless awareness, the sense of privilege and honor at being able to think with the mind of God right now. Wouldn't you feel holy? Wouldn't you feel inexpressibly grateful right now for this amazing presence that is given to you right now? So whatever you would feel it now. Feel it right now in this moment. Because there is no time but now. This presence can only be experienced now. There is no past or future. Maybe in the past or future you are blocking it and denying it. It can only be experienced right now. So sink inward, say the idea one more time as you breathe in, say pure formless awareness of perfect love. Here's the awareness in which I think. And then just sink into that. Set the intention. You've invited this awareness in, and it will come at your invitation. Trust that. So all you have to do now is step back. Watch your breath. Observe the breath flowing into and out of the nostrils. And practice will just keep your mind clear of thought. So you're an empty vessel and you're just opening yourself to this awareness, experiencing this awareness fully and any apparent thoughts that it brings up. So maybe in this awareness, you just have loving, kind thoughts. Maybe it's just pure awareness with very little thought. Maybe you get guidance about a particular issue or problem you're facing. You don't know. That's the whole point. You don't know what this awareness is going to do and how it's going to help you. You just let go of your need to know that and control it and surrender to it. That's what it means to surrender to God. So just for the next couple of minutes, observe your breath. That's all you need to do, and just fully surrender to the experience that arises to this pure formless awareness of perfect love. That is the awareness in which you exist and which you think. Experience that fully for the next 2 minutes of deep silence. If any thoughts arise, just observe them and see where they're coming from. Do they feel kind and loving, peaceful and happy? Are they helpful or unhelpful? If there's any kind of restriction or contraction in them, and unpleasant feeling that arises, they're not helpful. So remind yourself that pure formless awareness, perfect love, is the awareness in which I think, and there is no other awareness in which I think. Any other awareness is illusory, false. So I exhale and I just blow that awareness away like a dark cloud or a black smoke. It's going, gone. To the nothingness that it really is. Doesn't exist, and you just abide in this pure awareness. It's like the clear blue sky, the light of your source just shining through it, illuminating it. Just rest for another minute or so, deep silence in this clear, pure awareness. So just gently coming back now. This deep state into awareness of your body and the breath and the senses and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Once again, scan your mind. Notice any thoughts, emotions going on. Remind yourself that your formless awareness of perfect love is the awareness in which I think. And so only loving, kind, helpful thoughts are possible. Anything else, blow it out. Exhale on the count of 2. Blowing it out with the breeze of your breath. Letting it go. Just going, gone into the nothingness that it really is. On my nose, stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And just rest here for a couple of moments. Noticing the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Noticing what you're feeling and touching. Your hands, maybe the subtle taste in your mouth, smell in your nose. Breathe in. Connect with this awareness, embrace this pure formless awareness of perfect love. And allow it to infuse every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in this awareness. It is the awareness in which you think. Just hold this awareness. That's going to guide all your thoughts and your words and your actions. Everything flows from this fundamental awareness. So it is said and so it is done. Now on the count of 3, open your eyes. Just take a minute to look around, noticing various objects in the room, surrounding you, again in this awareness. So just a pure awareness, underlying all of your sense perceptions. Notice that awareness that's underlying everything. So whatever you look at, that awareness is there, and the underlying pieces there. Look at any objects that happen to be in front of you and notice this awareness is there, whether your eyes are closed or open. You can close your eyes briefly. Notice that awareness, open your eyes, look at something else, notice that awareness. And so you're training your mind to experience that this awareness is always there. It is the awareness in which everything happens. It's the ground of being in which all your thoughts occur. And their job is just to remain connected to that awareness. So that awareness is then guiding all of your thoughts and feelings and words and actions and decisions and your entire life. That is the enlightened state which we are training ourselves to get into and stay into. So that is my wish for you, that you go into that enlightened state and are able to stay there. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and of today's session. So thank you for joining, Elaine, and if you listen to the recording or the live stream, then perhaps you'd like to join us in one of these live sessions. Just go to theaolg.com to sign up to join one of these live sessions, a masterclass, I call it. You can also go to lifebuild.com. You can see the spelling of that in the background, just lifebuild.com. Or click on the link below to sign up to receive some of the material I shared, the daily quote, send out the daily lesson as well in visual form, so with an image and the text, and then also a short meditation or breath break, as I call it, to help you practice that throughout the day. So go to lifebuild.com to do that. And if you like this content, if you'd like to be notified by YouTube whenever I go live, which is 6 days a week, then just hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Right, so thanks for listening and watching, and hope to see you on the inside soon. Namaste, which means the true self in me acknowledges and honors that same true self in you. Peace.